I gotta admit, guys, until I was only paying $65, I wasn't gonna get this Motor Max one. I thought it was gonna look, cheesy, crappy compared to the Ertl one. I just bought it because it was 65 bucks. But after seeing it sitting beside the Ertl one, I'm shocked. The only difference, big difference, is it says American Graffiti on the side, which I'm gonna take off there. Hate to say this, but the Motor Max might give Ertl a run for its money. It's 2:15 in the morning. I wasn't going to get into this tonight, but after seeing them side by side, I got to have a closer look. Before we get into all that, I'll show you a project I got cooking that I'm excited about. If you didn't check my short, or if you're not on my Facebook, I have the green light 1 of 18 scale Bigfoot, which is just a beautiful casting. It's one of their best. It's like the Fall Guy truck, the Black Ghost Challenger. They just did a real good job on it. It seems like whenever Greenlight gets something that they're the only one that has the license for it, they try to knock it out of the park. But I seen people do dioramas, in particularly Max, and his was in like this acrylic case, it looked like. And I wanted to pick up one of those, but they're not too cheap. And I've been shopping around and they're not too cheap. I wasn't sure about the size of it either. I bought a couple cars off a guy the other day and he dropped them off. And I wasn't home, he put them on my porch and he sent me a text, super nice guy. And he says, hey, I also dropped off a display case. He goes, it's a little bit of a fixer-upper, but I figured you could use it. It'll go to a good home. I figured it was like an acrylic display case for like a 118 car or a 1 of 24 scale car, right? But check out what he gave me. Now, keep in mind, this did need a repair, but it was one of the easiest repairs I ever did. The glue, it looks like it might be older. The glue is letting go. Where the acrylic joins, I just re-glued it because it was splitting down at the bottom and the corners. I just re-glued it. It's perfect. But check this out. That is such a perfect fit that the bumpers touch. Like, it cannot get any closer, but it's perfect. That's only a 1 of 24 scale car in there. I noticed 1 of 18 scale cars, like if it's like a big Mopar Super B, something like that, it won't fit end to end. So it would have to be a smaller car, like, the Ferris Bueller car or something like that. Maybe the Bullet Mustang might fit. I might go with a 1 of 24 scale car though, because that one does not look bad. There's no damage happening to it. That's actually a vintage 1981, I believe, 80 or 81 Ertl Smokey and the Bandit 2. The OG. Under there, gentle with the door open to make it look like it's getting crushed. But my idea is I'm going to take a car, get an old car, not this Bandit, but just an old piece of crap, 1 of 25 scale, put it in a vise and just beat the crap out of it, make it look like it's crushed, put it under the tires. And then I'm going to print out, I picked out some scenes off Google, like just crowds from Bigfoot shows back in the day, cameras flashing and stuff. I'm going to go to Wally, plug the phone into the kiosk, print it out, and I'm going to glue it back as a backing so it looks like the crowd. And then I have the Bigfoot 4x4x4 logo I'm going to put right here, but on the back wall, like not on the front wall, on the back wall. So it's going to say Bigfoot with the logo and the little cartoon truck 4x4x4, and it's going to have the crowd. I was thinking about putting some dirt in the bottom too, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. What do you guys think? The flag that Max has looks awesome too. He's got a flag on the back of his, but that's where that idea with this type of case was inspired from, was his idea. So credit to him. And credit to the person, his name is Val, that gave me this. That was awesome. I sent him pictures, actually. He couldn't believe how it fit. And the chances of it, because I was looking for one of these, like I could not believe it. And then I said, you watch, it's not going to fit. It's not going to fit. And it actually, well, you could see. Perfect fit. Like it's literally, you know. And it's the way I want it, crushing a car. I don't think it could fit straight down without crushing the car. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's going to look gorgeous when I'm done, though. Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear that? Tell me it's picking it up. Sounds like a big coyote fight. Coyotes. We got a lot of them around here. Last night I heard them going, ooh, ooh. And I was gonna try to get it on film, but they were just making a rocket, so I'm pretty sure it picked it up. Damn, cars going by, I had to ruin it. Let's get into the models. Crazy, eh? Last night I heard one of them just doing its howl. Coyotes, we got a problem with them here, like on the outskirts, and I tell people all the time, if you got a little cat or dog around this area, don't let them outside, especially at night, because they will take off with your cat or dog. I'm not kidding, especially a small one. Yeah, wild. Anyway, so we got two different brands we're talking about. Ertl, you already know about Ertl, I talk about them all the time. And we got Maniacs. Now, the Ertl casting, if you look back a couple videos, we already unboxed one. I'm going to take this out so we could have a good comparison of the two of them. This came out in 2000. It's a lot better known brand. Maniacs, I thought it was kind of a discount brand, but after being on their website, this casting came out in 2008, and after looking at the casting through the box, this is sealed. You can still see the seal. It was in a smoky house at some point, but good thing it was still in the box. This came out in 2008. It's newer than I thought it was, but we're gonna have a look at them anyway. I'll tell you a little bit about Maniacs. I just looked into them. Ertl, we already know about them. They've been around for a minute. They used to make the toy grade stuff when we were kids. Now they're into the more detailed stuff. Well, they have been for quite a while now. But check this out about Maniacs. I was actually pretty impressed with what I read. Give me a second. When I was getting up, I smashed my head on the damn Ertl. Maniacs, I wanted to know more about them. I knew they were open in 1997, but I didn't know they were still going. But this is their website. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description. You guys could check it out. It's pretty cool. It tells you all about their company. Their facilities are over in Hong Kong. You could even book a tour to visit their factories. It's actually pretty awesome. And they make a lot more scales than I thought. I thought they only made one of 18 and one of 24 scale. But they also make one of 12 scale as well. And one of 64 scale. They make a bunch of different ones. I'm really looking forward to this because it looks like a really good quality cast. Okay, fellas and ladies, it's going to be a no glove day because I ran out of my one box of gloves. I have another brand new box and I can't seem to locate it. Sir Glenn is at work. We're working opposite shifts, so when he's at home, I'm not home and vice versa. I've already unboxed the Ertl, okay? If you want to see the original unboxing of this car, I'm going to put a link in the description. I'm also going to include a link in the description of the unboxing of the American Graffiti 55 Chevy by Ertl. That's beautiful. That's my favorite of the two cars from the movie. And it's beautifully done. They really did a good job with it, Ertl, on the 55 Chevy. I was stoked about getting that. I got it mint in the box from a toy show of all places. But I'll include the link for that as well. because it's an older video. Some of you guys might not have seen it, newer subscribers. But let's get into this. Get that one that's not so dull. So this has never been opened. Still got all the original seals. These two are brittle, but this one is still sealed. Didn't take much to get that one. These look very, very similar. I'm shocked. For the longest time, I was watching this, okay? Now, this was always a car. The 55 is my favorite. This was always a car I was telling Glenn and other people, I'm not going to get it unless it's cheap. Because to me, it's an enhancement piece for the 55, which is my favorite car of the movie. So I was okay if it was cheap, but I thought the Motor Max, you know, I've never heard much good about Motor Max. I'm not saying bad about them, but when you think high-end, you don't think Motor Max, you don't think detailed. I was watching this for 80 bucks. I said to Glenn, oh, I can get the Ertl for 100. In fact, about a week ago, we missed all 3 Ertl pieces. Well, there's more than 3 in the set, but it was the yellow car, the 32 Ford. It was the black 55 Chevy, and it was the Impala. All 3 were in mint sealed boxes. All 3 pieces were for $150, and we just missed it. That was $50 each. Like, that was basically you're almost buying the 55 and getting the other 2 free. But anyway, when this dropped to $65, I didn't notice it yet. Glenn brought it to my attention. Oh, it dropped down to 65 bucks and it's local, blah, blah, blah. And I said, wow, I'll consider it for $65, right? But then after I picked it up and I'm looking at it, like, obviously I'm going to remove where it says American Graffiti there because it didn't say that in the movie. But other than that, the car, looking at it with the Ertl, quality-wise, they look very similar. But I want to look at the interiors and all that. But the Motor Max does not look cheap. It looks very similar to the Ertl. So I want to see what it has to offer compared to the Ertl. I would not be surprised if for $65 I got, like, I thought I'd be losing detail, you know what I mean, for the money. But I wouldn't be surprised if for $65 I did well. And that would be a thank you to Sir Glenn for kind of talking me into it. Because I was leery at first. And this is, of course, a star screwdriver. Don't think I've ever opened a Motor Max before. I think this is a first. First for Motor Max. Opened up a Matchbox, the Drew Carey car. That was the first for 118 Matchbox. Opened up my first auto art, which was the Bullet. Opened up a ton of Ertl and American muscles. And well, I'm getting tired. It's 3 in the morning, but I just didn't want to wait. When I got home, it's like when I picked it up in the car, I was looking at it. I said, wow, that looks a lot like the Ertl. And then when I got home, started looking at them side by side, there's little differences, but man, like, for the most part, they're very similar. And as much as I love Ertl, I have seen some badly done Ertls. Like ones that weren't great. So, be interesting to see how this $65 one of 18 holds up against the Ertl. Mind you, this is from 2008. The Ertl's from 2000, but being that the Motor Max is an underdog, like I know the one video for, what was it? It was for a newer Starsky against an older Starsky, I think, or something. It was a newer casting against older, anyway. I said it wasn't going to be a shootout because the one is so much newer than the other. Well, this one, it's going to be a head-to-head shootout because from what I'm seeing through the box, it might be pretty even other than that tempo that I could take off in 2 minutes. And that's on both sides, I could take it off in 2 minutes. Ooh, the store was smart back in the day. Put the anti-theft thing, hid it in the box. See that? Hid it in the box, sealed in the box. So you walk out of the store with the model, beep, 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 beep. Never seen it like that before when I open one of these. And last screw. Now the Ertl one has the piston gear shifter as well. We'll have to have a look and see if the Maniacs does. And taking it off the base, nice, nice. Oh, and it's got one of those weird bases, eh? Okay. So we're not taking it off just yet. Oh, don't tell me it's gonna have weird... We're gonna have to do this big special thing with a different screwdriver. Oh, I got my little handy yet. No, that'll work. Okay. We got this one for that type of situation. Okay. Getting tired, you could tell. You know what, we might have to finish this in the morning after I unscrew this. But you guys won't know the difference because I'll put you in the time machine while I go to sleep. But I think that's what we're gonna do. And then I'll be all fresh because I don't want to give it burnt out, you know. I'm starting to feel that way. We'll get it unscrewed anyway, have a quick look, and then, yeah. We'll give it a real good comparison. But this is going to be a head-to-head shootout between the discount brand and Ertl. Is that going to be the one screw that gives me a hard time? Get this one going first then. Get that out, that way I can move the other one around a bit. Yeah, I got tired quick, guys. All the sugar and everything, my medication all wore off, and oof. Then again, it's late. Got it. Okay, so just the Ertl is a touch heavier. They're almost the exact same size. Wow. The Ertl, the exhaust is placed differently on the bottom. Very, very similar though. It's blowing me away how similar they are. Okay, the Ertl got the right plate, which is the THX, which was based on some sci-fi movie. And that is the wrong plate on the Maniacs. So far that's wrong. It only says American Graffiti on the one side, which is good, easy to remove. And time machine. Sorry about that, fellas. It's the next day. And ladies, let's get at it. Sorry about that, guys. That came on quick. but I'm all ready to go to work. We're just gonna finish this off first. Okay, so the Motor Max has a little, I like how they put the nameplate. I always like the nameplates without the manufacturer name, like Motor Max being on here. I like it just being the car name. 1932 Ford Coupe premium metal diecast. 1932 was a landmark year for the Ford Motor Company. The Model 18 Sport Coupe came equipped with Ford's new flathead V8 that delivered 65 horsepower from 221 cubic inches. Imagine the torque in that. That would be just stump-tearing torque. Okay? And the new 32 Coupe could reach a top speed of 78 miles per hour in 10 minutes. 78 miles per hour. There was such a stir of public interest that over 50,000 advance orders were placed and millions of people came to see it when it was unveiled in March of 1932. I like when they include facts like that. There's our anti-theft thing, eh? That would startle a thief, but they would figure out after a while that it was hidden in the box somewhere. Word gets around. Okay, so these, shockingly guys, I'm shocked at how close these are. Now the Ertl does weigh a little bit more. And you'll see the headlights are a tiny bit spaced out different, stuff like that. But for size and everything else, I will say Ertl got the license plate right. The license plate on the actual American Graffiti car was named after George Lucas's, like a science fiction film or something like that. I looked into it last night. The THX 138. And one plate's California and one is Michigan, which is weird. Usually they do that if the place doesn't have a license. Like, for example, Motor Max also did this identical car, yellow, but it's just 1932 Ford. It doesn't say American Graffiti anywhere on the box. So a lot of times when the license runs out, they'll just do, like, nothing stops them from doing a yellow 32 Ford, right? Coupe. Same with the Bullet car, Auto Art, the license ran out, so they did a green Mustang. Same exact green Mustang GT. The only difference is it doesn't have the Bullet license plate. It just says Mustang GT on the license plate, but it's the same car for a lot cheaper if you can find it. But oddly, they didn't take advantage of the license and they put Michigan plates on it. I would expect to see that on after the license ran out. But guys, did they ever get close? The license plates are in different spots, of course. That doesn't bother me. But like everything else is so close. Like the little latch for the trunk even. They are so close. I couldn't find anything saying that they bought the casting from Ertl or anything like that. Like, it's so weird. But like even the firewall, look at that. Same placement of everything. Like I said, a couple things are different. Like if you look at the lights, they're further apart on the Motor Max than on the Ertl. Like there's little differences, but I'm not disappointed so far. And the American Graffiti is only on the one side of the car. So that's going to take me literally 2 minutes to get that off. And it's going to be real easy. Glenn talked me into this. I'm glad he did, because I got a quality 118 for $65 of the car. Like, I have no regrets of this. Similar wishbone suspension, similar looking. The mufflers are placed differently, but other than that, they're so alike, guys. The mirrors are placed a little bit different, the side mirror, but they're so similar. Yeah, I'm not disappointed in the Motor Max at all. I'm glad Glenn talked me into getting that. The colors are slightly different, but you can't really notice it. Like I said, I'm kind of glad I went with the Motor Max. There's not big enough differences that you can really notice a lot. Like, put it this way, when I take the American Graffiti off here, people coming to see my collection aren't going to be looking and say, oh, that's the Motormax one. Like, it's not that obvious. Like, even the plastic parts, some of them look the same, but they're not. They both got the unbranded valve covers like they had in the movie. The aftermarkets. Let's have a look at the interiors. So the Ertls, we'll look at the Ertl first. And it's got the little piston as well. We'll get a better look up there, guys, in different light conditions. Trunk doesn't open on either. I don't believe it doesn't open on the Ertl. Let's see if it opens on the Motormax. If it opened on the Motormax, I'd hate to say that might be the nail in the coffin, but it doesn't. It might have been the nail in the coffin for the Ertl. Okay, so this is the Ertl. Now this is the Motormax. Now, a lot of times, guys, you could get these for about the same cost, okay? Obviously, if you can get it for the same cost, go with the Ertl, because you don't got to do anything with it. You don't got to take the American Graffiti off it. But if you can get this for significantly less, like I just did, like never out of the box, then do it up. Because it's, put it this way, there's not that big of changes to warrant the difference. And wow, I actually like the interior on this a bit better because they made the piston gear shift a little bit more prominent. Check that out and look at the dash and everything, and then I'm going to show you the Ertl. The doors don't have as much detail. They don't have the silver thing. It's the only thing the door doesn't have, the one silver thing, but I can paint that easily with silver paint. That's a real easy paint. And you know what else I like about it? The doors open just slightly more on this than they do on this. But look how similar it is. Other than that door handle, like even the steering wheel. But yeah, the shift knob is more prominent in this one, and I like that. I like that feature of it. And the pedals in the American Graffiti, you could see them a bit better as well. So other than the window handle, the roll-up handle or whatever it is, no, it's the door, just a regular chrome door handle right there. And it's in the right spot. It's just not painted. But other than that, I like the Motormax interior a little bit better because you could see that gear shift a bit better. Everything else is equal, but the Motormax, the doors open a little bit wider, so you could see it a bit better. Yeah, I had no regrets about this. $65 well spent. I thought I was getting a cheaper model, but of course we're gonna have a look at it on the look-see set. So you tell me, guys, does it warrant paying 50, even 100 for the Ertl over the Motormax? Hell no. Not to me, it doesn't. They are so close. There's little differences, slight differences, but do I think it's worth paying a bunch more to get the Ertl in this case? No. And you know me, guys, I'm usually all about quality over quantity. But they are just so close that the money difference, $65, I would do it all over again. One of the differences is, again, the placement of the headlights. They're a little bit high on the Motormax. Motormax doesn't have the correct license plate, which is strange because for this they had the license. They did come out with the later model 32 Ford in yellow after the license was done. But I don't know what plate that had, but they should have taken advantage of the license. But they are so close, like, look at that firewall, and look at that firewall, like that, they are close. Oh, by the way, something that I discovered, The Motormax has something the Ertl doesn't have. Suspension in the back, working suspension. That's impressive, but look how close those are. So license plate is placed differently. The back lights are spaced out a bit differently, but the trunk handle is the same. Bumper is similar. Totally worth getting the Motormax. I recommend it if you can get a good deal, but don't pay too much for it. If it's going to be the same price, definitely go with the Ertl, because the Ertl is just more recognized as well. But if you can get it cheap, definitely get the Motormax. It's worth it. And this license plate, by the way, you guys know, that is a very, very, very easy fix. You can order a decal of this one and either take that off or probably slap it right over it, but it's a very easy fix, and that's gonna be one of the little tweaks I make to this car. Just trying to show you guys the interior in that different light condition. That is the Ertl. It's got the little piston shifter, but just to show you how similar. So the other one doesn't have the chrome handle on the door. See, I could paint that little door handle, but that is similar, guys. But I like how the piston shifter is a bit more prominent, but the seat's the same, the steering wheel's the same, dash has all the gauges on it. And I love that the doors open up wider on it to get pictures of it and take videos of it like you're supposed to, you know, get glamour shots of it. I love that. So here is the one glaring difference that I will be taking off and making a video of it, how to do it for those that are new viewers, is that American Graffiti. I'm taking that off, but other than that, they are pretty darn close. You guys know me, I'm pretty picky for details and that, but glad I picked that up. I thought it was just going to be a cheap version and I was going to be pissed. It doesn't feel cheap either. Everything opens nicely, surprisingly. It's a little bit lighter in weight, but other than that, scores. Trying to do some glamour shots without showing the side that says American Graffiti on it. And here is a similar shot using the Ertl. And one last shot of all three of these guys together. And I'm happy to report I did research last night, guys. This yellow car, it suffered months on the lot of the studio out in the elements, but after years, a man bought it and restored it back to its former glory the correct way. So the car still lives, the yellow car and the black car. The black car was also in 2-lane blacktop. Same exact car. It's another one on my list, guys. If you guys ever see one of those for a fair price, let me know. One of 18 scale 2-lane blacktop. I would even take a loose mint one. So there you have it, guys. My personal opinion, if you can get them both for the same price, go with the Ertl, because it's the more recognized brand and it's ready out of the box. You don't got to change the license plate. You don't got to remove the tampo. I'm going to call this one a tie, guys, because while it had the wrong license plate, it had the tampo on it, it had some features I like better. The doors open more. You could see the piston shifter a little bit better. It had working suspension. So that's a tough one to call. I'm going to call that one a tie. But like I said, my opinion, if you have two that are $80, go with the Ertl if they're in the same condition. if you can get it significantly cheaper, like if there's one there for $65 and it's the Motor Max and there's 100 for the Ertl, go with the Motor Max. Just take the side tampo off, add the plate if you want to. 15 minutes of work and you've got it where it should be, or almost where it should be. So I'm shocked. I got an awesome car for cheap. Motor Max, you shocked me. Wow. Anyway, guys, I gotta get ready to go for work now that there's no coyotes outside that are gonna chew me all up when I walk to my car. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm shocked. As soon as I got it in my hand, because looking at it in pictures is one thing. Like I said, it looks good, but you can't feel it in a picture, right? It is a little bit lighter than the Ertl, but yeah, I can't complain at all. Can't complain. It's got the Michigan plate, but other than that, it's, yeah, happy I grabbed it. And thank you to Glenn for pushing me over to get it. Because that's one that if I would have seen how nice it was, I would have regretted it, actually. They're known as a discount brand, but they're still in business. And I will be watching what they come out with. Because their website, it looked like they had some pretty nice stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you're having a good first start of the week. Please smash the like button for me because it keeps my brain whirling to keep the good videos coming and look for cars to share with you guys and all the other stuff. And it'll motivate me to stay up till 3 in the morning to unbox stuff with you guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already because I upload consistently like everybody will tell you, and I'll keep you entertained. And if you got friends that collect and just like funny stuff, send them my way to watch the videos. Share. As always, guys, take care. Happy hunting. Don't let Grimace get you.
You mean you eat other people's lunches? Stop it!